DAMD, and this is the DAMD Podcast. The views and opinions expressed on the DAMD Podcast do not necessarily represent the official policies or positions of any agency or business. Now let's start the show. Hey guys, welcome to the DAMD Podcast. It's been a while. There was a recording issue with Luke Stam's episode last week. I am rescheduling with Luke here in the near future. You'll see him probably in about 2 or 3 weeks. Again, Luke, sorry about that. Still figuring stuff out. But if you guys haven't realized already, we are in a new Studio MD setup. So Studio MD 3.0. We now have multi-camera. Holy shit. With me today, my lovely family, my lovely wife Sam, and our son Max. How's it going? Yay. We also have a camera to zoom into her too. Ooh, look at that. See, you've got camera 3 right there. Ooh, yeah. I'm loving this new setup.
Oh, I'm glad.
So, my poor wife, I swear, every time I have hair up my ass about the studio, she hears about it for weeks on end. So
Yeah.
Doing good. We got the new wallpaper behind you. Everybody take a look. Ooh, look at the wallpaper. Look at our child. There we go.
Yay. Yeah.
We have barely had any time for entertainment.
I know.
However, we just saw the first first race of the season for Formula One.
Formula One's back.
Again, so for all the people that are saying like, oh, like I don't want to watch auto racing, I think your mind is stuck in American auto racing where they're in a circle, they're standing in line at 200 miles an hour, and you're just like, wow, after 15 laps, we have one person has passed another.
Yeah.
Formula One's completely different for watching the actual race. And even if you don't want to watch, that's a, 90-minute dedication every Sunday morning? Maybe almost 2 hours?
They have to finish the race within 2.5 hours.
Yes. It has to go a specific distance, and it has to happen within a certain amount of time. So you're not going to be watching the same fucking race for more than 2.5 hours.
No.
And if it's likely to be over 2.5 hours, there was a really crazy crash. Hopefully the person survived.
They can't, yeah. They won't. They'll stop.
I don't think, has weather stopped?
I don't think so.
I think they just put on their wets and their all seasons or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want to watch that race, watch that show just for the character, the individual racers themselves, the drivers. It's cool dynamic between the drivers, and then you have the pressures of the teams on those racers. And these guys change teams like they change their underwear.
Not really.
Well, look at, let's see.
Well, yes, there's some of them that do, but
look at the Australian.
Yeah,
holy shit.
Yeah. Well, he left Red Bull. Dumb.
Yeah.
Like, left Red Bull as soon as they were going over to Honda, which completely changed.
He went to Renault. What the
Renault,
fuck?
like, and stayed there for 2 years, and then jumped ship to McLaren, which he was already talking to when he was leaving Red Bull. So he's like, maybe I should have went to McLaren first, and blah 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 blah. Like,
these hoes ain't faithful.
Yeah, really, right? Yeah.
But the thing is, they're having difficulty at Red Bull trying to find their second fiddle. I really think Checo is going to be...
Perez is going to be awesome.
I've been calling him Chico for a long time, but Checo...
his actual name is Sergio Perez. But
yeah, I don't know where the fuck they picked that up.
Checo's is just a nickname.
So we watched the actual race near the end of the season where he got spun out. Verstappen got knocked out in that accident. He bit the wall because gravel, he couldn't get any traction. Forced into the wall. Yeah. Put Checo in 18th or 19th, which was dead last because there was already a car or two eliminated.
Yes.
He went from dead fucking last to winning podium.
Yes.
First place within the same fucking race.
Yes.
So if you're wanting to watch an actual F1 race and see, there's a fuck ton of drama. I'm actually getting goosebumps thinking of how much drama, because that was when what's his name from Mercedes? That was his COVID race, right? He was on the bench. So you had Checo going from absolute dead last to first. And Mercedes
taking on George Russell, who...
So that's the thing, is George Russell was sitting in for Lewis Hamilton, who is the Tom Brady of fucking of racing. He was benched for COVID. So they took somebody that drove... George Russell drives the slowest car on the track.
Yeah, Williams.
They put him behind the Mercedes. The kid can race his fucking balls off.
Yeah.
He just didn't have the right car for it.
Right.
They put him in that. So you have that drama going up up front. You have Checo in the back starting to like destroy the
Making
competition.
a gazillion passes, yeah.
George Russell is in first, 90% of the race,
Mm-hmm.
and then his original car, the Williams, wrecks on right before the straightaway, the home straight.
Right.
It sends fiberglass onto the track, so when they pull George Russell's car, the Williams car, off the track, they didn't pick up all of that fiberglass, and Russell's fucking racing around. He's, first place the entire fucking time. His fucking rear left tire pops from his original car. How fucking Shakespearean is that shit?
Yeah, it's messed up.
And then Checo, with all the stars aligned, went from dead last to winning podium on that. And he's now, instead of the pink Mercedes, which was Racing Point, he's now with Red Bull. I'd say because of that race.
Yeah.
Hey,
Munchkin.
It was absolutely crazy watching that race. I really wish they focused on that more on the Netflix thing. But like Netflix, what's cool about Netflix is they have a continuous line from race 1 to the last race of the season.
Yeah.
But they were picking their own drama with that. I think just that one race was what is extremely interesting about Formula One altogether. But no, I think if you want to find the most interesting race, like just watching that. Without all the backstory, that is probably one of the most interesting races if you're told that. You saw somebody go from dead last, you had somebody that was put in a car that they deserved to be in, but it eventually their old car fucks them. Yeah, he's 21 if he's lucky.
Yeah, like he's only been in Formula 1 for like this is his third year or something like that, something like that.
Yeah. And for you ladies out there, I know for Sam originally it was the sex appeal of all these little skinny ass kids.
They're so good looking. Like these drivers, they're just like they're extremely good looking.
Well, they're in really good shape. What a lot of people don't realize is you first off don't grasp how fast these cars are going watching it on TV. The angles are just right where it just looks like they're perusing through the Italian Grand Prix. Yeah. But these cars in the these cars in the straightaway are doing like 190. I don't think I've ever seen anybody break 200 yet. Maybe at the Italian Grand Prix because that's one of the fastest raceways. Yeah. Also the Russian one. I hated the Russian one, but that track was fast as fuck. Yeah. But you got to think that vehicle, that race car, is pushing them all the way into their seats.
They have like G's.
And then, when they slam on those brakes, like they're hitting 3 Gs. So these guys had to be in extremely good shape to keep the weight down on the car. Yeah. But they also have to have like insane neck strength because they're wearing 3 pounds of protective, at least 3 pounds. I think it's 3 to 5 pounds of protective gear on their head, and those extra Gs. Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
And then with Grosjean, that was a huge explosion that happened last year. Mm-hmm. What did they say? I think he did 50 Gs or some shit.
Something like that.
And they said his body weighed something like 4 tons in that crash or something.
Yeah.
So like that's the kind of stress that's on that body. You're not going to find some like, yeah, man, we're jumping behind this Formula One. Like these dudes are like in insane shape. Yeah. So yeah, if you're looking for a little sex appeal on the looking for some young strapping men.
I mean, they're young. They're young and they're little.
They're all European too.
Yeah, and they're all European.
Get a little flavor of Spanish.
European or except for Sergio Perez, who is Mexican.
Yep. And then we have the Japanese guy.
Stroll's Canadian, and then there's the newest.
It was Red Bull.
AlphaTauri.
Yeah, Red Bull's second team, AlphaTauri. And that's kind of the cool thing too of watching the show is you're realizing the relationship between some of these teams. Like you have was it AlphaTauri?
AlphaTauri is
the Red Bull's second seat.
Yep. Alfa Romeo is the Ferrari second seat.
It's a Ferrari. Yep. But it's cool seeing that relationship.
Like Williams is like the second for Mercedes or something.
Which I had no idea that was a correlation between those two.
It's a training team.
That's interesting though, because like last year you had what's his name from Thailand? There's another person not in Europe. Fucking second seat.
Albon.
Albon. That was interesting seeing. Albon's a damn good driver. It's just I don't think he's top 7 consistently. Yeah. So it was interesting seeing the guys from the second Red Bull team moving up on his thing. But the weird thing is, he didn't lose his seat to a Red Bull. He lost his seat to the pink Mercedes. So that was interesting watching.
Well, the fact that he wasn't going to get a seat, it was just upsetting because he's a really good driver.
He's a good kid,
and the
too.
fact that we're talking about this right now, like, I would never think that I would be talking about, like, driving.
And that's what the point I'm trying to get out with everybody here is, trust me, Formula One is interesting as fuck. I was a kid of the 90s. NASCAR was for white trash, like all stuff. And I don't see it for white trash anymore, but I don't like watching 2 lines of fucking cars just standing in line for 500 fucking laps.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like, if you look at, like, Formula One tracks, like, they're very intricate.
I just don't understand why they don't make more non-circular tracks.
Yeah, put some turns in them fucking things.
Yeah.
Because, like, I will never watch Indy. Like, it's... An Indy car on those tracks are faster than Formula One cars.
Right.
But, like, who cares if they're standing in line? Like, I want to see, like, passing dynamics. I want to see this, that. Like, there's so much going on with it. Please, for the love of God, if you watch Formula One, or we encourage you to watch it and you do, fucking comment on here. Like, let's find a community of Formula One people.
Let's figure that out.
Really haven't watched too much UFC together.
No.
UFC is kind of with COVID and everything. Although they sold 15,000 seats in Jacksonville in less than 15 fucking minutes.
Oh, that's nuts.
COVID is finally blowing over.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed. I'll bring up this thing quickly, and you can tell me because I've noticed this since Thursday. They're saying that the COVID vaccine is helping with long-term mental fog that people are experiencing.
Holy shit.
I feel much sharper since about Thursday. I'm in the middle. I'm literally like dead center between my first and second shot.
Yeah.
And I feel sharper. Like this morning when I was like, all right, we got to get this knocked out, all that stuff. Like, it wasn't like, just knowing out.
Eventually do this.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just sit here for a little bit.
But literally, as I was coming downstairs, we've rewired this whole fucking thing. I now have my new toy, the Atom Mini Pro, is what we've been going from camera to camera with. So fucking happy. I love this thing. Ran down here. I put 100 or 75 feet worth of HDMI cable on this thing, and realized it was way too much. I was having a lot of technical issues. So last night I bought the appropriate amount, came down here, but I was noticing as I was plugging this shit in a hurry, I was like, I feel more mentally like focused.
That's fantastic.
The most I've been, I would hate to say before July, like if this is a COVID thing, holy fuck. Because that's August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. That's 8 fucking months. Where I haven't been fucking clicking. Literally, this is the sharpest I've felt in a very long time.
That's really good, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I need you on top of your game now.
It has been an interesting because you have natural parental instincts.
Yes, I've got the maternal instinct.
Exactly. Where with me, I'm just like, nah, kid's not crying. I'm good.
No, but like.
But also, it shows it late at night too. Is being in the profession that I am, if there's noises or something that are interrupting your sleep, your body has to adjust to sleeping through that. So it's weird is there's some nights where I sleep through a lot of craziness this kid's like throwing at us.
Yeah. And because I'm a wonderful wife, I
yes, you are.
I will let you sleep through it.
Yes. Until
I can't do it anymore.
Listen, you redline. And that's what wakes me up is, you're just, baby, you're okay. Like, I'm like, okay, there's something drastically wrong in this room. That's usually where you get back to sleep, and then I take care of him for a good hour to 90 minutes.
Well, that's how, so he wakes up anywhere between 2 and 3:30.
And you're on stealth mode. That usually doesn't wake me up.
Right. After I put him back in the snoo, and then it's an hour and a half to 2 hours later, I'm like, nope, 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 I can't do it.
And that's usually you just saying that, like, go back to sleep. That usually wakes me up.
Baby, please just go back to sleep.
That usually wakes me up like, okay, it's my time. What sucked was Thursday. Was it Thursday or Friday? No, it was yesterday, which was Friday. He woke up at 4:45. My alarm was set for 5:30. It's like, even if I get this kid to sleep right now, if I only get another half hour of sleep, I will be
screwed.
fucked on a level.
Yeah.
So he kept me up for a little bit. I took care of him. I think, what did I fucking do? I changed him. I think I tried feeding him. But then
You did. You gave him a bottle.
So now, like I said, he wakes up. We get him back to sleep for a little bit, and then an hour later, he gets plugged in. It's like, all right, we got to... Can't touch the buttons on here. Basically, he wants to be cuddled for the rest of the morning and everything.
Yeah. So he'll snuggle with you for a little bit because you're awake.
Yeah.
And then around like 6 something.
Yeah. I just got to plug him into you. Like, I got to get to work.
Yeah, no. Like, you got to go. And so I wake up and he snuggles and eats and just now then he doesn't want to wake up.
You're having that problem. And was that yesterday you were having that problem?
The day before. So yeah, he just wants to cuddle in the mornings but at least he's like getting a solid 6 hours.
Yeah.
We're putting him to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Which was my bedtime for a very long. My parents literally had me going to bed at like 8 until like I was in 6th grade, 7th grade.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's going to be
good,
happening.
healthy.
Yeah.
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 But
because eventually he will sleep like 10, 12 hours, but like it's one of those things. It's gotta wait.
Yeah, for a while there, he was only sleeping 3 to 4 hours, but that's because he was getting hungry. Like now he's getting a larger metabolism, larger stomach and everything. He's sleeping 5 to 6. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. But like, I just wish that I could go to bed exactly when he goes to bed.
I think that you got to wind down. Oh, the logistics. We forgot about that. Logistics of the fucking childcare.
So the childcare won't take frozen breast milk. So we have to prep everything and write down.
And we figured that out the day before. Because you went to work, right? Came home 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And then we're like, oh, hey, we need to label all of these bottles according to what's in the content, breast milk formula. And then we need to put the exact details of mixed or expressed and all that stuff. So
thawed or expressed.
Yeah.
And then both.
We're like fucking cross-eyed, like, all right, how do we do this the first night? And the first night was a shit show. I missed the big open mic. I was like, whatever. This is more important, is making sure that you, the kid, and everything's squared away for the next day.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But it took 3 hours to get all those. Because what we did is we labeled it. We put nail polish over the labels so we could continually wash them.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, this is gonna be crazy. We have to do this every fucking day.
Which we do.
But it's down now. I'd say to a 30-minute process.
Yeah.
As long as all the bottles are cleaned and everything.
Yeah, we just make sure the bottles are clean and then we're good to go. And which we do. So and then we have like a rotation, so it's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now he's passed out, so it's bad.
Clunked out. But yeah, that was... Speaking of the comedy, though, I think, September was one of my last performances.
You may have to put a thing over.
That's fine. Yeah. You gotta love the post the post edit there. We're gonna cover up with, like, the DAMD logo and everything. The last time I performed, I want to say it was in September. And I was like, you're high risk as it is before the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Pregnancy just complicates it even more. Had a close call with one of the comics. Leslie Fox, the integrity of Leslie Fox was amazing. Yeah. She wasn't tested or at risk for COVID, but she said, hey, she gave me a text like, hey, my kid was positive, all that stuff. I was like, okay, that's a close call. And then at work, same thing. Was you were in the office at the same time as somebody else. Mm-hmm. Here's a close call. I was like, that's too many close calls. So I was like, unfortunately, I'm going to have to, put the comedy on the side.
Yeah, but then you started the podcast, and then it's fine.
That was the thing is, lateral movement, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's always forward movement. You have forward movement.
Well, I was saying, moving forward with the comedy, throw it over to the podcast, and continue that line.
Yeah. Now you're doing both.
But I thought, fuck, September, October... November, December, January, February, March. That was 6 months. I was like, man, this is gonna be rusty as fuck. And went to Battle Mountain. We just had the active shooter, which ties right into one of my jokes.
Yeah.
because I'm now more comfortable with the comedians and everything. Because I've had, like, most of the comedians that do Battle Mountain, I've had on the podcast. I'm now more comfortable with these guys. With the active shooter, because that was within a 2-hour driving distance of here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I can't go as hard in the paint on this active shooter specifically than I was in New Jersey. So like, why don't I bring it in more somber, like the humanity of it, the reflection of it. Mm-hmm. I'd never really approached that joke or any of my jokes with like somber approach.
Right.
I think between approaching that somberly and then building up to a funny part and just other dynamics of the being comfortable and everything, literally as soon as I got off stage, Luke Stam's like, yo, it didn't even look like you were off stage for 6 months.
That's great.
Which felt great then. And then 2 days later, Delgado texts me. He's like, hey, man, that set from 2 days ago was a banger. I'm like, holy shit.
That's great.
I haven't had an open mic or a show days later getting compliments for that. So, like, that must have been amazing.
Well, good. Like, you were comfortable in, like, your just means you're comfortable more in your own skin and like with your material and everything like that. So. And
I really think the podcast has helped with the crowd. It's like, I know half these people here. They know that I'm a decent comedian. There's times I'm going to bomb and everything, but I think it gave me enough breathing room to kind of explore the presentation of it.
Right.
I went to 3E's last week, and crazy fucks. That's the most civilian non-comics I've ever seen in my life.
Now that things are opening up again, it's like
there's a drought of like live entertainment. So like I said, you know, I grinded the New Jersey scene for a while. Never saw that many civilian non-comics before. Literally, that crowd that was there at 3E's for a regular open mic was the same vibe and like crowd size as like the Comedy Cabaret, which is a fucking bringer show.
Right.
That was what, a 5-man bringer?
Something like that, yeah.
It was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So I'm number 5 or 6, I think, on the list. Get up there. There's a really good comedian that hosts that's Gamble. I think his first name is David. Sorry, Gamble, if I forgot your name. Get up there and, you know, granted there's good comedians performing, so nobody burnt the crowd either high or low. And then I got up there, kind of rough start. Like I always have difficulties doing my start and everything, but I go into the active shooter, which I've really been focusing on. It's like I like this roller coaster. Start humble or start somber and then build up into it. When I started that, because basically it's like, oh, we've had another active shooter. I hate these active shooters because it makes me reflect on my humanity. What would I do in that situation? As I'm starting this thing, the little bit of background, it wasn't rowdy at all. It wasn't fucking, what was the name of that one? A Piece of Heaven or Taste of Heaven? Another nightmare fucking thing. But it wasn't that at all. It was just like, you know, a little conversation here and there. Nothing that would distract me because I'm very sensitive to conversations at the table.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad at all.
Okay.
But I realized I brought all of that conversation to zero.
That's good.
I had the entire crowd like, where's he going to go with this?
Yeah.
And when I realized I had that, I'm like, okay, I need to take this a little further towards humble. You know, if you had a scale of like 0's neutral, 10 is like sad crowd on the left, or -10 sad, you know, +10 is like rowdy. Right now I'm at a 0. Is I have your attention. I can either go happy, I can go sad. I was like, I need to go a little bit further down. So I brought them down to probably like a -2 and -3, and they're like, because they're starting to lean in. Like, where's this dude? Is this dude about to piss us all off, or like, or is this going to be worth it? Right. And you know, that's where I like, oh, you know, hide behind and everything. You know, if he shoots 3 more people, you know, all that stuff. Yeah. And as I drop down to that knee, I'm starting to feel it go back to like a 0. And then I never really like, holy shit, this is the greatest comedian ever. Yeah. But like, it was fun watching that ride. Okay. Of like, okay, where's he going with this? Like, literally, I pulled the air out of the room for the first time ever.
That's good.
And I was able to, you know, fucking go where I wanted to. It was fucking amazing.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Heidi. It's just, I am so ready to chomp at this bit.
I know.
You know, and I think it's awesome. You're able to hit up 3 mics if you wanted to on Tuesday, and then do 3 E's on Wednesday. So I figure polish everything Tuesday night, and then throw all that good shit up on stage on Wednesday.
That's good.
Speaking of crowd control, though, Luke Stamm, unfortunately, we recorded with him last week. Not unfortunately, I recorded with him. Unfortunately, I recorded incorrectly. That dude is a fucking powerhouse. Mm-hmm. He's started since July, COVID July. So it's been, half of his time has been like, there's no mics to fucking go to because everything's closed.
Yeah.
The way this guy had the crowd, I've never seen a crowd do the roller coaster like this, is because he's a very dark, perverted, goofy comedian. Right. So he gets up on stage, and everybody at first they're like, all right, this dude, like, he looks a little off. He does look a little off. I think Luke will admit that. But they're set back a little bit. Like, where's this guy gonna go? And he fucking takes you through. And I have never seen the range of motion or of emotion in this crowd. Like what I was saying, where I pulled you in, and then also his shit was a million times more activity. Yeah. Where people were like, "Oh shit, he's going this way! Holy fuck, that was hilarious!" Yeah. Like a complete roller coaster. It got to the point where I knew Justin Ledger was recording his stuff like a communist, fucking vertical. Get your life together, Justin. But I was wanting to record his set, but I was fucking fumbling and everything. I was like, all right, if Justin has the terribly recorded vertical camera, I'll do the crowd reaction. Because I'd never seen a crowd like this before. Yeah. And just seeing the ride that Luke took him on, I was like, this is fucking nuts. This kid's only been doing this since fucking July.
Yeah. I mean, some people got the natural talent, man. Like, I don't know. Like, engaging with crowds and stuff like that. Like, you're great and all, but, like, it's very difficult for you to connect with people sometimes. Yeah. So the fact that you were able to connect with the audience and stuff like that I'm really proud of you, because it's difficult for you because you have to really pull yourself out of your comfort zone to do that. So like me, I'm literally, you can throw me in a room, I don't know anybody, and I'll make friends. I'll just, like, yes, I'm extremely introverted when it comes to like needing to recharge. However, I'm extroverted when it comes to, like, I need to be, like, I need to have people around me.
The big one was when
I'm a social butterfly.
I caught COVID and you got put away, Rapunzeled into the fucking
into my room
to the
all by
guest
myself.
Room. You were losing your mind within like 2 days.
Yeah.
And you had 2 weeks.
I was like, this is awful. And like, I tested freaking negative. I was so mad. So I tested negative, and I still had to.
Yeah, it was bonkers.
And then they wouldn't let me go back because I was pregnant and throwing up. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, the little correlation between pregnancy and COVID is throwing up, and they're like, well, every time you throw up, because it's not in your medical records that you're pregnant, it's a sign of COVID.
No. It was in my medical records that I was pregnant. It wasn't in my medical records that I was having morning sickness. Like, it's so typical that they don't put it in all the time. Oh, and wait, I hadn't seen my doctor since week 8? I wonder the fuck why.
And the intensity of this conversation was expressed on the phone call, too. I was like, God damn, Sam's going hard in the paint.
Well, they didn't let me go. I'm like, I was furious. I needed to go back to work. Yeah. Like, my clients depended on me. I am not like, nope. I am not the type of person who's just going to leave my people out to dry. Like,
and the thing is, you're I wouldn't even say morning sickness, because that was any time of day. Your pregnancy sickness was happening daily.
Yeah, and also the fact that I found out that the baby didn't like me when eating peanut butter, and it was very easy for me to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when I'm locked in my room. like,
But their instruction was every time you puke, your 2 weeks starts over.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is like.
What? Speaking of the peanut butter, though, I've been buying Reese's Pieces like a motherfucker this week, and she's like, oh, you really like these? I'm like, yeah. Sam couldn't have them for fucking 9 months, and we're both on a fucking kick for this now.
Yeah,
especially those
and chicken.
Yeah.
I've been eating chicken like a motherfucker, like so much chicken. I couldn't have chicken at all during pregnancy.
Speaking of chicken, I threw this idea against the wall, and I think it's sticking on both of our walls. Is fucking
meal prepping,
meal prepping. Because that's the thing is Monday you're off.
Yeah, but I have doctor appointments.
All those doctor appointments. Tuesday you're off. However, I have
some doctor appointments. I have doctor appointment in the morning every Tuesday.
Yeah,
and then afterwards I do have some time. But then, like, do I bring the baby with me? Do I put him at daycare? Like, what do I do? Like, it's very frustrating. So. And
then I'm doing comedy after work on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'm running out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, same thing, is because that one's even tighter. Because if you don't get there like at 6 o'clock, you're going to be well above number 10. Like you're talking at least 15 if you show up like 10 minutes late.
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts there. Then Thursday, like everything just feels like a fucking rush.
Yeah, and like I work till 7 on Thursdays, so it's just frustrating because like. And you pick up Max, and then by the time I get home, he's exhausted. And
the thing is, you have never taken care of yourself since we've dated on eating lunch properly, eating dinner properly. Yeah. So if we prepackage all this food on a weekend,
we have to do that. We have to set up breakfasts and stuff like that because we were doing so good eating breakfast, and then
when I was not showing up to work early in the morning. If I have the time, I love cooking breakfast. It's just
like even if we just make smoothies, like we have to get back to it because if I don't nourish my body, then the baby doesn't get nourished enough, and that's a problem. So
we were saying though, Mr. Chompers has kind of left us though, right? He's getting a little better with the chomping.
Yeah, he's not. Well, now he's getting teeth, so
that's gonna complicate things. It's gonna have a hole punch on your nipple.
It'll be fine. It'll be okay. But he's getting a tooth, and poor baby, he just doesn't. He doesn't. He just.
I'd say he's constantly on his hands now.
Yeah.
So, what else we got on the schedule today? It was comedy, Formula One, the kid. Yeah. Anything else we got? We got to get down, start watching some shows. For All Mankind is fucking amazing. We the second season started a month ago?
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah.
We're backtracking because anytime a new season of anything drops, I like to catch up on everything again.
Yeah. And
I think we're at the last episode of season 10 or first season.
Yeah.
Episode 10, season 1. We're about to start it there. So if you're space nerds like I am and Sam are, Sam is, I don't know. English apparently is not my forte today.
No.
Really cool thing is alternate history if our country did not make it to the moon first. And then going on the publicity stunts because Russia got to the moon first, so America's counterpunch was, well, we're going to get the first woman on the moon. And then the fucking Russians beat us on that too. And we're like, fuck it, we're going to get the first base on it. It's really fucking cool. A lot of the drama is like, because we watch like Apollo 13, they just show like the oxygen tank exploding. Mm-hmm. And you only had Apollo 1 through 17, where only one of those in space had a complication. So with this alternate history, they're able to make things a little more dramatic. Right. Like the episode we just finished, they had an issue with the
spoilers.
With a command. Shut up. With a command module of the second stage rocket. Not gonna get any further than that, but you learn more in depth stuff about the Saturn V.
Yeah.
Than you would have just watching history and everything, because they're talking about one of the computers is fucked up in that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know about the phase or second stage computer thing.
Yeah,
because that's a 25-foot wide ring that had all the IBM like computers in there.
Yeah,
this was an enormous part of it, and you never really, if it didn't fail, nobody fucking heard about it.
Right.
So it's kind of cool hearing about that because they're using actual like the blueprints to build dramatic interest in the show and everything.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to because the trailer for the second season, they're carrying weapons on the moon like M16s.
I didn't even watch the trailer yet.
You haven't seen it yet? It's like there's like 8 or 10 astronauts on the moon holding like M16s.
Holy shit.
You're like, what the fuck is going on here? So
Yeah.
really interesting show.
Cool.
Really accurate. So what I hate about when they try to recreate NASA like spacesuits and everything, they never get the pressures right on the suit. So it always looks kind of saggy and everything. They've done a really good job of making it look scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
Because there's times that a studio will buy the suit and then it sags. It looks like this thing legitimately has pressure in it.
Yeah.
And it's not like a saggy piece of shit.
That's good.
I've had difficulty trying to figure out like, all right, this is scientifically or historically inaccurate. Like one of the big things for it wasn't Apollo 12 did not have the red stripe for the commander of the mission. So it's cool, like knowing that little background there. The reason why that one astronaut has the red stripe on his suit is he's the commander of that mission and everything. So little cool things like that. You get the fucking nerd out and everything. Yeah, good times. We got to go out because we're down 24 or up 24, however you want to see it. We got to get a little further onto the plains there and start doing some stargazing.
I want to get a telescope.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook somebody's wanted to trade. I've never traded anything, and I have nothing to trade. Like, would you like several $100s? Because he was saying he was able to track satellites with that fucking
I would love to get a telescope.
Yeah.
I want to get a telescope really badly.
That was a legit one, too.
I want to get a really good telescope.
Let's go jump back on that and see if that dude's still on there.
We'll check.
But good times. Anything else interesting going on right now?
No, not really.
No.
I mean, we're just working and taking care of the baby and...
Yeah. 40-hour work week for me. You're somewhere between 30 and 40 depending on the thing. Yeah, it's interesting being because I'm trying to grind. Now that I got this like mental like focus back, I might be able to grind more efficiently.
Yep. And also help take care of the baby.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what I was getting at was finding that balance.
Yes.
You know, because you have goals, I have goals, and we're all going to do good.
Yeah. And we have to make sure we raise our child in a way that
yes, we don't raise a psychopath that's, murdering people on a Florida highway.
Yeah, no, we don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's the thing I was thinking about, though, is holding Max
is
you're holding on to so much potential.
Yeah.
And if you're in a healthy relationship in, like, the world, everyone has that moment of, like, where's this life going to go? And, like, sometimes, like, Miss Hitler had that reflection is like, this kid has all this potential. Turned out to be one of the more horrifying people in his history.
Yeah.
And then, like, Gandhi's mom, like, holding on to him. Like, do you think he would have, he united India, I believe?
Something like that.
He changed the history of peaceful protests and everything. I mean, it's so crazy holding on to a child and realizing, like, it's just little nudges.
What are you going to do in your life?
Exactly. You know that you need to be the left and right guardrail, or you can have a psychopath, or, like, change the world and everything. Like, do you really think Elon Musk's parents would be like, this motherfucker is going to redesign space travel?
Yeah.
Like, have you been tracking all that shit with the Falcon rockets?
Not yet. I just don't have time.
So these things look like really chunky, like, old school rockets. Like, nothing really. It doesn't look like the SpaceX rockets. Like, these things look like chunky.
Yeah.
They're putting them into the higher parts of the atmosphere, and then what they're doing right now is they're trying to test them for vertical landing. So this enormous fucking fat looking rocket is basically about to belly flop, and then it adjusts and fucking lands right side up.
That'd be nice.
Do you really think the Musk family, how old's that motherfucker? Like 50 years old now?
I don't know.
Hold on to that kid, be like, yeah, he's going to redesign the fucking space program. Like,
yeah.
it's fucking nuts holding on to a kid and realizing that you have that kind of potential as a parent.
So much. So much potential, baby. You can do all the things.
I can't believe you haven't seen that stuff. Well,
It's fine.
everybody is going to go on. This will be what we'll wrap up with. Okay. Bam. Let's go with some breathing into space X landing.
I just want to make sure that we have enough time for stuff.
Let's see. Bam. Oh, you're not going to project this on the fucking screen, are you?
No.
Dude, everybody is blowing up my phone now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Here you go, Hattie.
Cool.
That thing's like fucking... Yeah, look at that big fat fucking rocket.
That's really cool.
Do you really think his parents
No.
were like, yeah, this guy's going to land a, 30-story rocket? Like, how big that fucking thing is.
That's insane.
And then it explodes.
Why? Why?
That's what they're figuring out. They're doing the research
Why
and
is
everything.
it exploding?
But if you saw it coming in, you notice how there's something going on with the side of the rocket?
Yeah.
They obviously have a leak and everything. But fucking 10 years ago, you wouldn't even have contemplated this shit.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's already done this...
I mean, cool.
As a parent, like, I don't know if Musk's parents are still alive, but, like, I would be insanely proud of that shit. Like, because here's the thing, is he's basically reimagining space travel between government-funded and private sector.
Yeah.
So he's basically going to have a NASA contract to move people to space and move people to fucking Mars.
That's really cool.
So this thing, too, is he's changing the economy, the economics of space travel between government-funded.
It's like it's becoming one of my books, like the fantasy books, sci-fi books that I read.
What's up?
Like living on the moon, living on Mars.
Oh, you're saying that he's making life feel like one of those books. Yeah, it's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, there we go. Back to the DAMD podcast here. Alrighty, so we're going to wrap this up. We got to go do some things. Got to feed the kid, all that good stuff, and then we'll come back and record the bomb, hopefully today, and be good to go. You want to talk about my bombs? You want to talk about your bombs?
Not mine.
Not your bombs. I'll have to go through and see about all the times I've shit my pants.
No, we're not talking about that kind of shit. My God. Can't they be talking like anything else? God damn it.
Well, are you a regular subscriber to Studio MD podcasts?
Yes.
Then you know what you should do is email studiomdpodcast@gmail.com or davidmdcomedy@gmail. Put in some recommendations.
Maybe don't talk about shit. I don't know. Like, there's my recommendation. Don't talk about shit.
Well,
all
if
the time.
you're going to tell people not to do one thing, you have to advise what they should do instead. Don't be so negative. You can't be just like, you guys shouldn't do that. Like, all right, well, bring me a what I should do.
You're the creative one.
No, I'm not.
Get your shit together.
I'm just laughing at things that fart.
Oh, God. We can't do this.
Well, alrighty, Heidi. So I haven't messed with our video thing too much, but there you go. Wave at the camera. There you go. Bye, everybody.
Say bye.
It was great seeing everybody. I need to get a little better on the camera switching and everything. But next week, we will have another person on. Or I mean, which comic it is. I got to backtrack all of my calendars and everything.